Da li je suština u detaljima?
The essence is always in the details, but the details is the product. If you have a good product, you can make good food. It all starts from the beginning. It all starts with our farmer. Otherwise, all the dish will never be completed.
Šta imaju zajedničko italijanska tradicionalna i moderna kuhinja?
Italian cuisine, it's very, very difficult to describe Italian cuisine because the Italian cuisine is very regional. It's when I drive 100 kilometers more to south, you know, it already changes everything. It changes all the cold cuts, change the bread and everything. So the modern cuisine always started from the tradition. If you don't know the tradition, you don't know how to cook modern Italian food. But it's all have to be regional. It's all have to be there where we grow up, where we come from. Otherwise, no modern cuisine it's understandable, and no modern cuisine have a reason for me. You know, it's all have to start from the history, and from the beginning of every cuisine, it's the history.
Kako se postiže magija u kulinarstvu?
When you achieve a wow effect to the guest, that he says, wow, this one, I never experienced this before. This one, I never tasted something like this before, then you made everything right. You know, the wow effect, it all starts from cooking. It's all to transport emotions to the guest.
Iz ove perspektive sve deluje lako. Je li tako?
Well, the road to achieve the pinnacle, it's never easy. It's a lot of sweat, it's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of tears. You know, but in end of the day, if you believe on it, if you want to achieve something in every profession whatsoever, you always can achieve it. It all depends from you and from the head. If the head is strong to be determined, you know, to achieve something, you always will achieve it. And for me, it was always a goal, you know, from the childhood, you know, to achieve something culinary, because that is my profession, that is my passion, and that is my love, what I know how to do. And if you believe on it, you always will achieve it.
Koliko su nagrade uticale na vas i da li ste ostali autentični?
Definitely, the authenticity is the most important thing. When you get awards, you are not better than others. You just achieve something for the moment, for this year. And this one have to drive you. This one have to push you to new boundaries. This have to push you to new creativity. It's just the start. The awards are only the start, but it's an achievement for the hard work, what you have done in the past, but it will also be the push and the motivation to achieve new boundaries, to achieve more new goals for your future.
Kako odlučite šta ćete ponuditi gostima?
Well, for me, the most important thing is the seasonality. The seasonality, that's the most, like this one, we're gonna cook. You know, for me, it doesn't make any sense to cook strawberries in December, to make cherries in December. You know, I want to have the best product when it's the best ripeness, you know, and the best taste. And I 100% go always with the seasonality. I work with farmer. One farmer, it's a good friend of mine. He's very young, 24 years old, and he offers me more than 500 vegetables the whole year, you know, and I go 100% with him. If he says, okay, I have this product now, I put it on a menu. I never ask him, example, you know, I need carrots. No, I always tell him, Michael, what do you have? What do you have? What is the best in season? And he brings me that, and according to this, I will cook. I always consider now the main product on their plate, it's the vegetable. And the side dish, it's always the fish and meat. You know, for me, the main product is always the vegetable. Definitely, I cannot do it because I do not have it. I do not import, example, mango from Pakistan. I do not import in my restaurant a vegetable from what comes overseas. You know, I only use locally grown vegetables and maximum Italian vegetables. If that is not, if I don't have blood orange and he likes to have blood orange, I'm sorry, I do not have. But I give him an alternative, what is even better.
Gostovali ste na najboljim mestima. Šta vas je privuklo da dođete u Bellevue?
I have my good friend, Gianluca, he's the general manager here. You know, when he comes here, he told me about this magical place, about this fantastic place. And after that, you know, after talking, he offered me this nice consultancy to take over the BAVA restaurant. BAVA restaurant is a traditional Italian restaurant. We use a lot of local produce, whatever we can take, but we want to consider it as a very good Italian eatery where the guests can come also 2-3 times on their stay, and they have a really good time paired with a fantastic service and a good wine.
Gde nabavljate namirnice za restoran BAVA?
Here in BAVA, we're using 100% Malilosian olive oil. Local is a local producer. What we have here, very nice one. Is always I have many restaurants around the world, and for me is always to find the best products locally, what you can find. If it's not locally, I will import everything from Italy. But first you have to let work and give work to the local community, what is around you, because the local community, they never let you fail at the end of the day. And after that, when you can find good olive oil here, I should buy it here. Shorter ways, 0 kilometers, it's here. You give money back to the local community, and after that, when you need something very quickly, they come and they bring it to you right away. But otherwise, in all other restaurants, you know, in Maldives, for example, we have a restaurant that is difficult, you know, because we have local fish, we have a little bit local vegetable. I bring also the seeds there, what I have in Italy for my farmer. So we grow locally some vegetables, some herbs, and some nice basil. But otherwise, everything has to be imported definitely from Italy. But we try to keep it as authentic as possible, always.
Šta su vaše kući nedeljom sprema za ručak?
Sunday home for lunch, normally I always have lasagna. Lasagna homemade, you know, that is a really traditional Italian Sunday feast. You cook very simple lasagna, but like it should be. You know, the ragu have to be fantastic. I always use 3 kinds of meats in the ragu. Always a veal, always a beef, always a pork shoulder. And after that, you cook it for very long time. You cook it the day before. The lasagna, the pasta is always freshly homemade. And you make a nice bechamel, a nice Parmigiano Reggiano, what is 24 months aged. You just grate it on top. You bake it in the oven. It's the best meal what you can have. But that is all about the essence about Italian food. The Italian food is very simple, very simple. It's a very poor man's food in the end of the day. But it has to be the best ingredients, the nicest cooked, and you never look back afterwards. You eat it and you have a lot of acidity in your mouth. You have a lot of creaminess in your mouth, you know, but it's all about the product in Italian cooking.
Vaša omiljena pasta?
Favorite pasta, it's a spaghetti alla chitarra. That is a square-shaped pasta. It's and I always, when I travel a lot abroad, you know, when I come home after 1-2 weeks, the first dish what I ever eat is always a spaghetti alla chitarra with tomato. That's it. You know, the simplest food what you can make, but it's also the most difficult food what you can make. Because always the simplicity, it's always the most difficult. So you have to have the best tomatoes, the best pasta, the best olive oil, the best Parmigiano Reggiano, and after that combine all these precious ingredients to one dish, and what melts in your mouth, it's just fantastic. But as always, the most simple is the most difficult.
Da li biste bili ljubazni da me naučite kako se sprema?
Tomato sauce is the most difficult thing to make. You know, because tomato sauce is not just open the bag and put it in and cook. You know, you have to have the right amount onions for the tomatoes. You have to caramelize it very nicely. You know, that is almost, but for a long time. After that, you put the tomatoes inside. The tomatoes have to be 100% Italian tomatoes, passata, nothing added, no sugar, nothing added. You boil this down. You don't need to put sugar inside. You just put some salt inside, some pepper, cook it down. After that, you cook the spaghetti like it should be. You know, always 1 minute before cooking instruction, you take them out. You put it inside to the sauce. You grate freshly grated Parmesan cheese. You get good Parmesan cheese. You know, you can get Parmesan cheese and Parmesan cheese, but when you use good ones, you grate it 2 times and you have all the flavor in there. When you get bad ones, it's cheaper. You have to put a lot in there and still don't have a flavor. And same as with olive oil. Olive oil, when you have a good olive oil, you drizzle on top, it's all the flavors comes out. Otherwise, you're putting in a lot of olive oil, it will be greasy, but it doesn't have flavor. And after that, you finish cooking the spaghetti in the sauce. So the sauce will absorb, the pasta will absorb the sauce. And after that, you just put it on the plate, a little bit drops of olive oil, fresh basil on top, another Parmesan cheese, and that's it. You know, you have the most simplest dish and the most delicious dish in the world.